Well, it's about damn time somebody else had to say it other than me, Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Oscar De La Hoya have exposed Turki Alalshikh, Canelo Alvarez, and Terence Crawford in reference to Turki Alalshikh believing that Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, in which I disagree. And if you've been following the channel, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. I've been saying that this is an ultimate mismatch. But well, let's read what Oscar De La Hoya had to say. Oscar said, well, tweeted, so hear me out. Crawford will be 38 years old. Yes, it's September 38. Yes, he's an old man. But age is nothing but a number. And Canelo is 35 years old. Crawford hasn't fought in a year and got exposed by Madrimov, which is true. You know what I'm saying? One of the things about Terence Crawford is he's been inactive. And the last time we saw him was versus Madrimov. It could have gone either way. And he was fighting a guy that was 10-0, never been a champion, never beat a former champion and stuff like that. So, and a guy that's considered like Terence Crawford, a pound for pound, 1, 2, 3, you can flip it around. You know what I'm saying? And he had trouble with that. Moving up to the 154-pound division, it means that was his cap. And, you know, he can't go up further than that. Well, let's keep on reading the tweet. Canelo has been getting exposed for the past few years. Ooh. Well, I'm not going to say that Canelo Alvarez has gotten exposed, but I'm going to say that Canelo Alvarez have declined just a bit. And, of course, the last fight with William Skull, in which William Skull was running like a bitch. Let's be real, let's be honest. But Canelo Alvarez didn't use the jab to cut the ring off, because we all know that Canelo Alvarez is a master in cutting the ring off. But, of course, this was an interim fight. This was just the fight for Canelo Alvarez to get the strap for Turki Alalshikh. Fantasy and dream come to fruition, in which Terence Crawford, which is his boy, the guy that he was holding hands with, you know. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Kind of weird there, you know. Rainbow Army, you know what I'm saying? Pride Month is just right around the corner. But anyway, he want Terence Crawford to fight and to have an opportunity to become a 3-division undisputed world champion. So everything was just for the favor of Terence Crawford, right? And maybe that's why Canelo Alvarez didn't have the drive, the heart, the energy to chase and to cut the ring off with William Skull, because even if it was a close fight, they was going to give the win to Canelo Alvarez. Anyway, let me keep on reading the tweet. Can anyone please explain to me how this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing? You know how? It is not. Oscar De La Hoya knows it's not. I know it's not. And a lot of you that don't want to admit it know it as well. Because the number one fight in the sport of boxing is the fight that the world been asking for, in Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. That's the biggest fight. That's the fight that everybody in every corner of the world, when it comes to the sport of boxing, is asking for. That's the fight that we want to see. And Canelo Alvarez could retire after the fight, win, lose, or draw. There's nothing else that we could ask for Canelo Alvarez. Or maybe the rematch with Bivol. But at the end of the day, we'd like to see Bivol versus Benavidez, or Bivol versus Beterbiev, the trilogy. But that's the only fight that we want to see Canelo Alvarez in. You know what I'm saying? That's the only fight that we've been asking for. The biggest fight in the sport of boxing is a fight that the fans and the public and the casuals are asking for. Nobody asked for this fight in Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. This is a Turki Alalshikh fantasy fight. And he has all the money, have all the resources to do whatever he wants to do. Just like what he did in New York City and put the fight in Times Square. And, you know, he could do whatever because he got the funds to do it, you know? And we all know that Canelo Alvarez didn't want to fight Bud Crawford, and Bud Crawford wasn't. He knew that he's smart enough that he knows going up three division up. Technically, really, it's 3 division up, because again, he could have lost to Madrimov. They could have given Madrimov the win. But anyway, Bud Crawford know that this is just for him to retire. As much as these guys, Turkey is paying these guys are also taking advantage of the opportunity as well, and they will be stupid to decline the money. It's not the fight; they'll be stupid to decline the money. But I think the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, I agree with Oscar De La Hoya, and I like that Oscar De La Hoya, who still works with Turki Alalshikh, could tell Turki Alalshikh the truth. See, that's the thing, is that nobody that deals with Turki Alalshikh, or any media folk that has media credentials, doesn't want to say the truth about this Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford fight. Now, let me say it like this. It's an ultimate mismatch. I believe that Canelo Alvarez will wipe the floor with Terence Crawford, especially if Terence Crawford comes to fight and not do what William Skull did or retrieve a lot like other fighters has done in the past. But I think that it's an ultimate mismatch, but the Canelo Alvarez performance versus William Skull did justice for the perception that Bud Crawford could make it a challenging fight on fighting Canelo Alvarez. I think if Canelo Alvarez just would have knocked this dude out, completely out, then people would have been like, come on, man, this is a garbage fight. Come on, what is this, man? If you got all the money and the resources to make any fight come to fruition, just give the money that Canelo Alvarez can't refuse to face David Benavidez. I'm tired of the fantasy fights. Come on, boxing is real good right now. A lot of people, all these divisions is stacked up. Boxing is too good. And these fighters, it's just too good right now to get these fans. To why spend all this money on these fantasy fights or the interim fights, these in-between fights that has really threw monkey wrenches on big fights? Like, look, we might not even get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, the rematch, because they decided to put an interim fight with Rolly versus Ryan and then Devin versus Jose Ramirez. And look, they threw a monkey wrench. A lot of people ain't talking about this rematch no more. I'm not even interested. We seen Devin Haney performance and he ran. It wasn't entertaining at all. We seen Ryan Garcia didn't have his heart, to fight Rolly. He got knocked down and then he lost to Rolly Romero with an upset. The same thing happened with when we were supposed to get Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, and Turki Alalshikh decided to put these interim in-between fights with Wilder versus Parker and Ottawa Lee versus AJ, and then Parker threw the monkey wrench and we didn't get the fight. Let's just get to the big fight. Let's just get to the big fight. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with Oscar De La Hoya. And look, if Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez never come to fruition, what is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing? You know what I'm saying? Is it maybe a Teofimo Lopez versus Boots, or a Virgil Ortiz versus Boots, or Virgil Ortiz versus Jamel Charlo, or maybe if Earl Spence come out of retirement or whatever. Damn, what's a big fight outside of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, the trilogy? I think they're going to blow Madison Square Garden off the roof. Blow the roof off at Madison Square Garden, meaning. What is the biggest fight? Tank? Is it Tank or Shakur? The biggest fight in the sport of boxing? Probably that. That would be good. If Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney would have looked spectacular in their last outing, that probably wouldn't have been the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know who's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I think that we don't have no icons in as of now outside of the Canelo Alvarez. We don't have that type of icon like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They're trying to compare this. Hell no. Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was two icons, two of the most recognizable faces in the sport of boxing. A lot of people don't recognize Bud Crawford. They don't really know Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford doesn't fight enough to people to recognize and really clamor over this fight. They're going to have to do the impossible in promoting this fight because this is not the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But if you do have one, put it in the comment section.